Hello, guys. Welcome back to S3D, and this is gonna be an episode of Corporate Tuesdays. So, in episode 3, we're gonna talk about Hasbro. So, Hasbro has been doing some naughty things. Apparently, they decided it was a good idea to lay off 1,100 people, 2 weeks before Christmas. And a lot of influencers have been talking about, having theories and stuff like that. Just keep in mind, like most of the people who are doing these type of videos don't have like an MBA or have ever worked in these companies at you know, uh, at the executive level. Basically, are they making decisions for the entire company? So, a lot of people, I think most of us are just talking out their ass, myself included. I have some retail experience and I also have some consumer experience. But beyond that, I never had a MBA degree. I have a business degree, but I kind of just tap out uh, before I got my master's. So anyway, I know a lot of people who work in the corporate structure, and they're telling me, basically from what they're looking at, the company is probably doing a strategic transformation, as it says right here. Basically, that probably means Chapter 11 bankruptcy, so they can eliminate a lot of the debts and stuff like that. Also, keep in mind, their CEO, Chris Cox, got a $9 million payout this year. And, 11,000 people lost their jobs. So that, to me, is kind of disgusting. And we're going to get to the next part. This is basically what's happening at something that he was part of. Chris Cox was part of the Wizard of the Coast. So basically, like the board game stuff like that. These are things I am not familiar with, but apparently they have made money with these. I guess with the board game division, but then they're letting people go. So anyway, we're gonna focus back onto stuff I'm more familiar with, like the action figures and stuff. So going back to the action figures, stuff that we're more familiar with, especially people who follow my channel. Obviously, we have seen a lot of clearance. Basically, I think sales are in the toilet when it comes to the action figures. A lot of stuff going on clearance, a lot of stuff going to closeout. I don't know if this is 100% distribution problem or people are just tired of the figures. Personally, I don't want to pay $24 for these kind of stuff because I feel like it's overpriced. I am a big fan of the G.I. Joe Classified line. In fact, in the past, I have collect them, and I also buy a lot of them as gifts for my friends who are still actively collecting this line. And they're telling me the same story. Quality control is bad. $25 price point is terrible, but they're paying a lot more overseas. Trust me. These guys are paying like in the Philippines, I think it's like $38, and now recently, according to some folks in the Middle East, they're paying up to $100 for these figures, which I think is insane. I think it's mostly like a shipping related issues because I ship 2 figures uh, over there to the UAE, and it's been like 2 weeks and I have not gotten an update, and neither have they. Like, this stuff is just sitting in limbo somewhere. So I think that might contribute to the extra cost for these figures. The funny thing is, to me, they're made from plastic, right, which is derived from oil, petroleum, and their country is the number one exporter of oil, I think, in the world. So I have no idea what's going on. It's like I don't know why they can't just open up a factory and like just produce products, in that region. But who knows? Like I have no idea what's going on at the manufacturing aspect of the business either. So a lot of us YouTubers, we just like to talk out our ass for the purpose of gaining views. Like our insight is very very little into the industry. So anyway, we'll go to the next part. Now, believe it or not, Hasbro does have a history of doing a lot of naughty things. Their former CEO and the CFO actually colluded in doing this thing called artificially inflating their stock. So this is like during the era where Toys R Us was going out of business, and they made the investor believe that the Toys R Us going out of business wasn't going to majorly impact uh, Hasbro in the long term. But what's really funny is basically what happened was that Brian Goldner, rest in peace. Uh, in my opinion, he was a pretty decent CEO. But then I wasn't aware of the things that he was doing behind the scenes, like selling off like $147 million of their stock. So basically, the CEO and the CFO, Deborah Thomas, collectively sold off their own personal stock that they held in the company. So basically, they dumped their stocks. And what happened here is that it made the stock price fall like significantly, right? And there are these mutual funds, that buy into stocks for these companies in order to try to make people money. So there's a pension fund for the city of Warren. I think it's like somewhere in Michigan or something. The police department and the fire department, they lost a lot of money from their pensions because they invested in Hasbro. To me, this is kind of disgusting, and they got sued for this because they accused them of colluding and dumping their stocks and just being overall complete assholes. Yeah, I mean, I'll link the article in the video description so you guys can go check it out. So I guess the former CEO isn't really such a nice guy after all. I don't like the current CEO. A lot of people are saying a lot of bad things about him, but I feel like he's just a face. But the thing what he's doing with the Wizard of the Coast, I can kind of feel like the guy's probably not a nice dude. A lot of times you get these CEOs and their job is just, nowadays strategically transformation probably involve, like I said, the bankruptcy situation, so they can eliminate a lot of their debt to their investors and stuff like that. Again, more screwing over the investors. So I don't know why people want to invest in these kind of companies these days. Now, to be fair, Mattel did the same thing, similar things, and that they've been sued for throughout the last decade. I think 2015, a lot of people got sued. And I was also one of the stupid people to recommend some of my friends to invest in stocks in Mattel because I thought they were going to make a lot of money. Well, they did actually make a lot of money this year with Barbie movie. That was a success. But, before that, there was a long string of failures. So, I don't know. my suggestion is just don't mess around with this kind of stuff. You probably have something better to do with your money than investing in these this industry in particular. So now there's definitely a lot of negativity about this company. People are thinking the figures are super lazy, they're overpriced, they're doing some really crazy things with the Dungeons and Dragon and the Wizard of the Coast. I guess it's magic cards. Like pretty much like a majority, a large portion of their fans are upset with what they're doing. Either from overpriced action figures to completely screwing over, their board game properties and stuff like that, and laying out their employee, possibly doing the whole let's bankrupt the company so we can eliminate that situation. To me, that's actually really, really disgusting. If you watch How Money Works, they kind of explain about the situation. But then there's also a whole bunch of loopholes that these corporations can do to sidestep like the legal ramifications. Technically, it's illegal, but there's loopholes that they can jump through to make it so it's legal, or look better to the people who potentially be prosecuting this kind of situation. Now, also keep in mind they license out a lot of their properties to other companies. I feel like this is done intentionally because they want to make the company look like it's taking on so much risk and it's about at the brink of just going under. Again, like I said, this is actually a strategy for corporations these days. A lot of companies are doing this. They're saying they're bankrupt, but they're still selling stuff, and it's kind of like a video game where you die and then you respawn or something like that. It's not like, oh, you die and it's this company's game over. So yeah, I think I talk about that in the previous couple of videos. I'm thinking that this is what's going to happen. They're not going to die. They're just going to take advantage of that whole corporate Chapter 11 bankruptcy situation. So yeah, a lot of people actually done this. I think Donald Trump did it with his Trump corporations. Yeah, there was a joke out there about a book. One of the comedians make fun of him about having a book, writing an autobiography that has like 11 chapter 11s. Now, I don't want to like further insult Donald Trump. I don't want to like get into politics and stuff like that. I just find that really funny. But a lot of companies have done this. I believe McFarlane Toys or McFarlane himself have filed for corporate bankruptcy too in the past. He got sued by one of his partners for intellectual property dispute. But yeah, a lot of company uses this. I was told back in 2017, Hasbro even attempted to file for bankruptcy protection, like Chapter 11. So this is not something new. This is something that these corporations does all the time. And again, like I want to reiterate about this whole situation about how they screw over their own employees really badly, because like people at the upper end, like they don't fail uh, downward, they fail upward, right? So they get all these bonuses for getting rid of all these people, so they can make the company more money. And basically, sometimes they can also do a lot of these really disgusting things, or they just, they don't have to pay back their debts. Basically, they start over clean, and like all the debts are either forgiven or like transfer to another entity that can't even pay it off. A lot of these corporations do these kind of things. There are medical companies that rank up like billions of dollars of debt, and then they transfer the debt to like a bullshit company, and then just have that bullshit company go bankrupt, while the main company just don't have to take out any more debts. It is absolutely disgusting, and I feel like this is not something that's beyond the realm of possibility. So to me, it seems very very disgusting, and personally, I don't feel like continue to support like any of the products in the future if this something like this actually comes true. But the problem is, we're in the toy community, right? And a lot of people just don't really care about what happened to other people. It's a problem when it's a problem, right? If it happened to you, then maybe you have a different opinion about the situation. But most of us are just gonna be ignorant. All the influencers are just like, okay, let's not focus on the negative stuff. Let's just talk about the positive. We're getting, shiny new toys and stuff like that, right? It's it is what it is. It's like people who buy drugs, right? They don't care about what the cartels are doing, right? They just want their drugs. It's a messed up situation, and I'm just trying to be blunt. I feel like that's exactly what it is. So like if you don't care, you don't care. It's like it's not something I can, you know, uh, like reinforce like, oh man, they're doing bad things, right? But you don't care about the bad things. So it's just some guy talking on the internet about potentially bad things. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully, this is not what they're trying to do. But if it is, I don't know, man. All these companies just make me feel like I don't want anything to do with it. Like I don't even want to talk about them anymore. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching.